Tennis now, and the scoreboard says 6-4, 6-3, 6-4 to Rafael Nadal, but it was an uneasy 2.5 hours for the Spanish world number one as he labored past Kazakhstan's Mikhail Kukushkin into the third round in Wimbledon. The 17-time Grand Slam champion will face Australian teenager Alex de Minaur next. Novak Djokovic set up a potential third-round meeting with Britain's Kyle Edmund with a clinical 6-1, 6-2, 6-3 victory over Horacio Zeballos.
Djokovic, 3 sets to go.
And as I said earlier, with the quarterfinals starting tomorrow, we end on Sports for tonight. I'm Barong, Tony Ranta, and Gimba will be back with a wrap.
Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo today embarked on a state visit to South Africa, accompanied by his wife Rebecca, 9 ministers and a large business delegation. Welcoming his guests, President Cyril Ramaphosa thanked Ghana for her support during the struggle against apartheid, as well as its role in improving the continent and the lives of its people. Our Johannesburg Bureau Chief Betty Dibia reports from the Union Building in Pretoria.
The leader is President Cyril Ramaphosa's first state visitor, and among the string of bilateral issues, emphasis is being placed on economic, cultural and scientific cooperation. Also, both countries' permanent joint commission for cooperation is now being escalated to a binational commission to be led by both presidents. After the brief ceremonials, both sides soon settled to talk, negotiate and talk some more.
Seeking to steer our continent in the way of economic.
At the press conference, both presidents talked about global and continental issues, including the importance to continue fighting corruption, the Continental Free Trade Agreement with South Africa just signed up to in Nouakchott, and the need for Africa to be more productive so that the many Africans seeking life elsewhere will stay and develop the continent.
The need for close collaboration between our two countries who are working for common purposes on the African continent, to ensure the development of our continent, to ensure that we are masters of our own destiny, that we're going to build an Africa free of foreign control, free of foreign domination, which can respond to the aspirations of our people.
We've also affirmed our common view on the need to promote multilateralism and South-South cooperation.
Both leaders condemned the proposals for migrant bases on the continent and also called for what they call the necessary reforms of global institutions like the United Nations. On energy, where Ghana is fast becoming a prominent player, President Akufo-Addo extended an invitation to South Africa for its next round of licensing in the oil sector.
The President of Ghana has very kindly offered us to join them in this new block that they are exploring. We are over the moon because right now we're experiencing a petrol price crunch, and that has very little to do with our ability to moderate. This has to do with the dollar-rand exchange.
The Ghanaian delegation returns home on Friday, but President Akufo-Addo is expected back in South Africa in about 2 weeks' time to join the centenary celebrations of former President Nelson Mandela. From the Union Buildings in Pretoria, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Authorities in Thailand are looking for dozens of people missing after 2 passenger boats capsized off the coast of the island of Phuket. 48 passengers were rescued by a fishing trawler when one of the vessels carrying 97 people overturned in strong winds and rough seas. Another 39 people were saved when the second passenger boat was overturned. Rescuers are searching for those missing, but efforts are being hampered by conditions. Meanwhile, north of the country, rescuers are racing against the rains to bring out 12 teenage footballers and their coach trapped in the Tham Luang cave. The cave complex is regularly flooded during the rainy season until September-October, raising fears a delay could leave the boys trapped for months. And the main news again. President Muhammadu Buhari today signed an executive order seeking to checkmate corruption. Executive Order 6 was signed at the Presidential Villa, where leaders of the Northern State Christian Association of Nigeria also met with the President, Muhammadu Buhari, demanding an end to the killings across the country. Also today, gunmen killed 5 persons in an attack on Mararbankola community in Guyuk local government area of Adamawa State. And dozens of passengers were declared missing today following capsize of 2 passenger boats off the coast of Phuket Island in Thailand. And that's how it's been on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for watching. On behalf of all of us here, have a splendid night and good night.